So we're back for Weekend Wellbeing with Karen Ferguson from the Maven Club. Hi, Karen. How are you?
Hi, Nathan. I'm really good, actually. Just noticing that you're just in a t-shirt today is exciting, isn't it? I was thinking, I was driving yesterday and the sun was shining and I had to put my sunglasses on, and it made me think that's a really positive trigger for me. When I need to put my sunglasses on, it makes me happy straight away. So I was thinking maybe you're thinking the same with being just in your t-shirt. It's spring.
Yes, I know it is great. Although what's interesting at this time of year, it's cold at night and in the early
Mm,
hours, but then it's quite warm during the day. So it'd be hard to get the temperature balance right. But right now it is quite warm. Sun's been streaming into
mhm.
the room, so it feels quite warm. But what's weird is we have to put a fire on in the evening.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
Same here.
Best of both worlds in some ways.
Yeah, perhaps. But yeah, it is nicer that it's warmer. And same thing as you actually. When it comes to summer, and you can, I know it's a weird one, but I love the smell of sun cream. That always makes me feel good because I know it's
I'm with you
summer.
on that.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm really with you on that. And also because to me it kind of reminds you of holidays because,
yeah,
like as a kid or whatever, it's like, yeah, mum slapped on your sun cream when you were like, yeah, on the beach or whatever. So
exactly.
it's those little triggers of connections, isn't it, that are good for us.
Absolutely. Well, what have we got for this week's weekend wellbeing? Last week we looked at the idea of being with the right kind of people. Those that don't drain us. What is
Yeah.
this week then?
Yeah, so almost in contrast to that, actually, this week we're going to be looking at. I've called it a 5 a day challenge, but I'm not expecting people necessarily to do 5 a day. But we're actually going to look at the power of encouragement for our own well-being. So this is much more along the themes. If you remember when we looked at the 5 steps for mental well-being from the NHS, and one of them is give to others, it's kind of within that theme. So yes, I'm excited that we're just going to explore what it means to be quite selfless, actually, which then enhances our own sort of sense of well-being.
Yeah, very true. Giving to others, as we looked at not all that long ago, it's very good for us mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Mhm.
And the same with encouragement, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. And it's kind of what you guys are all about, isn't it? You're putting the radio out there across the world, giving to others, just yeah, bring a sense of connection and hope and joy into their lives. So this theme actually it came about quite a number of years ago. I wouldn't even want to guess how many years ago now, but it was around the time that there was a big push around the benefits to us of 5 a day. So fruit and veg 5 a day. There's just lots and lots of campaigns around eat your 5 a day. It's good for you. And schools got really behind it, doctors' surgeries, everybody got behind this sense that if we're having 5 a day of fruit and vegetable, that it's going to be good for us physically, for our health. And what that did for me is it made me think, well, if we can take on board these campaigns, and yeah, they can take a while for that to become normality and that to set in, and it certainly did from the time that they would have researched it to that it actually started to become part of our narrative. Um, but if we can do that thinking about our physical health, then how could we do a 5 a day challenge that is perhaps almost around our spiritual health as well? And so I set myself a challenge. I thought if eating 5 pieces of fruit or veg a day is good, then I want to have a sense of encouraging 5 different people every day. I feel like this is going to be good. It's going to be good for them, and I hope it's going to be good for me. So I set myself a challenge, a 5 a day challenge, to start to message people an encouragement that was personalised to them and to do 5 a day. And what's interesting, Nathan, is I was actually really nervous before doing this because I guess it starts to speak to that sense of rejection. What if they don't answer? What if they think I'm weird? All the what ifs were coming in a negative thing. But I just thought, okay, it can't be about me. This has got to be about the other people. So what if me sending a message happened to be just what they needed right then, right there? what if, that one tiny little encouragement I sent is the first encouragement they've heard in days or months or years. So I decided, like, just be brave. What's the worst that can happen? You've said something nice to somebody. Come on, let's not make such a big deal out of this. So I started, and it was incredible. It was so amazing. The responses where I had people, that would respond in tears or joy or whatever it might be, and they would say, how did you know to say that? Or like, this thing's been going on, or I cannot tell you how much I needed to hear that right now. Um, and it was so encouraging to get the reactions from people where they needed the affirmation in that day. They needed something. And I think, as a Christian, for myself as well, it was just such a beautiful way to just share God's love with people in a way that was very real to them. And, for some of those people, it was almost like they'd been praying for confirmation on something, and then I maybe had sent something about that was quite specific because I felt, oh, I should just say this thing. And that was just spoke into their life so much at that particular point. And for me, I was like, wow, what a blessing, God. What an absolute blessing to, for me to just say a few words, or to feel brave enough to say something that encouraged them but felt quite specific, that you would give me the joy of knowing that you somehow use that mechanism to bless somebody else, or to confirm something, or to give them a sense of hope in their uncertainty, or a sense of being loved and thought about and cared for. And there was such an extreme of things, from just like, oh wow, that was a cool surprise, to oh my gosh, I've just found out I've got this diagnosis, or you won't believe this, but I'd put this fleece out and I'd given it till this exact day for something to come through. And it became quite an important part of my life, really, because it felt like it set me up for the day to focus on others and not just to focus on myself. And I just think the thing that I learned from that was the power in making the first move. And it's so easy for us sometimes to get hesitant to actually do something because we get concerned about how we might feel, or what may or may not happen. But at some stage in some of these scenarios, someone's got to make the first move. And so to be able to do that was a huge encouragement. And so I kept that going for a period of time, where that was kind of like, I'll eat my fruit and my veg, but I'll also do my 5 encouragements. So I want to challenge everybody this weekend to intentionally find, I'm not going to say 5 a day, but could you either think of one person and think of 5 encouragements that you could share with them over the coming weeks, or think of 5 people that you could send an encouragement to this weekend. And even if the encouragement is just to say, hey, you sprung to mind, I just wanted to say, I'm really pleased we know each other, or I appreciate you, or I hope things are okay for you, or I miss that we don't see each other very much. Just something that is only, it's just going to be pleasant and affirming for them to read, and then see the joy of what may or may not come back. And you know what? If nobody answers you, it doesn't change how incredible that was as a gift of love and kindness to do. And it shouldn't stop you from doing it to somebody else or other people in the future. So this weekend's Wellbeing Challenge is to think of that five people with an encouragement, or one person with 5 encouragements. That 5-step challenge is our weekend challenge.
Wow, excellent. That's I like that idea of the 5 a day, because we're all pretty familiar with that. The idea of 5 a day is a good number of vegetables and fruit. It's the recommended, I think, by a lot of doctors would often recommend that. But this idea of 5 a day encouragement, that's brilliant. I love that. And I think each one of us can probably do that. Sometimes we forget the power of our words. And like you said, you reached out to people and you were surprised by the kind of responses. Some were just
Mhm.
really powerful, actually. How it influences and affects people when we just a simple encouragement, simple, well,
Mhm.
perhaps in some cases, just a reminder that we are actually thinking of them. We haven't forgotten about them. That we still do still uh, cherish their friendship in some way.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. Absolutely. So enjoy this one.
Yeah,
Enjoy this one. Enjoy thinking of the encouragements too.
yeah. Excellent. And thank you so much, Karen. May I encourage you before you go? Thank you for much these great weekend well-beings, helping us to focus on our mental health. They are, I think, really valuable each weekend. They've been helping me a lot, and I know for other people too. So thank you so much.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Nathan. And you've like ticked one off your list already. You're
Yep.
ahead of us.
Yep.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll see you again next week.
Perfect.
Here at Pure 24/7 Radio, we have had the privilege of speaking to some amazing people with amazing stories.
Now, what about, I thought I'd go a bit further, what about goat and sheep's milk?
Yes.
Becoming quite popular. Very similar to cow's milk. So we don't use it in the first year of life, you can afterwards. And their nutrient profiles, how good they are, is pretty similar to cow's milk. Allergenicity, how often do they cause allergies? About the same. They're a bit more expensive sometimes. Yeah, it's pretty equivalent.
Yeah, we're really excited, especially excited for Josh because it's his first book and he's really passionate with that Gen. Do you say Gen Z or Gen Z? I've heard it said in
I don't know. I'm too old. I don't know.
Yeah, we're not in that age category, so we've not got a clue what they're called.
It's a pot boiler. It's a good, exciting popcorn thriller. I didn't think it was anything too special, but I think watching it at home, people will probably enjoy it more than I did going to the cinema to sit. Really good film. I love it. You know, I walk into a cinema and I turn my phone off. Nobody can get hold of me for a couple of hours. I'm in a completely other world. Every single time I go to the cinema, and for me, it's like going to Oz. You know, it's like going to another world and escaping and relaxing, and I thoroughly enjoy it.
If you have missed any of these interviews or would like to hear them again, you can. Simply head over to our catch-up section at www.pure247radio.org. That's www.pure247radio.org.